Happy to welcome to the Laser Hotline this afternoon a longtime friend of mine and one hell of a talented individual, if I do say so myself. Mr. Corey Taylor, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, just enjoying the sunshine, relaxating.
I'm ready for you to give us an honest opinion or two on last night's VMAs. Let's do this.
God, I would love to, but I didn't watch it.
Hey, so. that's you probably at least were aware it was on. I didn't even know it was on. So.
Oh yeah, it was on. It was on. It was you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, I mean, I get chronic headaches anyway. I'm not going to do that to myself. What the hell, you know? Are you crazy?
Yeah, I mean, you know, because you don't want to have to double up on the medications.
No. Nobody wants that.
That's right.
And then I'm running around naked, and I mean, it's, you know, we put that in our past, Andy, you know?
We haven't seen that in many moons.
Many moons, yes. Oh, good Lord.
This band that I started referring to as the Pride of the 515 many moons ago has a new album coming October 21st, a massive Knotfest on the schedule, and a North American headlining tour with Korn shortly thereafter as well. The first thing I'm curious about, Corey, is the album's title, which we just found out about this morning. Slipknot's fifth studio album will be entitled The Gray Chapter, an obvious nod to the late, great Paul Gray. But what else does this title represent in terms of marching this band forward?
You know, it's essentially this album is a story of the last 4 years, you know, and I'm talking about emotionally all over the page, you know. I mean, there's a song in there that's specifically about the day that he died. That was, you know, probably one of the heaviest ones I've ever written. And but it's also about, you know, the stages of acceptance that everyone goes through, you know, whether it's, you know, the inner turmoil of guilt, you know, that survivor's guilt, or the rage that naturally happens when you're so mad that your friend is gone, you don't know where to place it, you know, and then just the war that happens inside of all of us, you know, which is really what the song, the negative one, which is the first song that we released, that's what that song is about, is that ugliness inside of us, and just, you know, trying to balance that in the aftermath of something so tragic like that. So it's really a story of everything that the band has been through in the last 4 years, and trying to make it as poignant and as honest as we could, you know?
When the decision was made to start writing new music without Paul for the first time, considering especially how crucial his contributions were, I remember there being some definite apprehension about what that experience might be like from both you and from Clown in particular, and specifically regarding the recording studio. Whatever you're comfortable sharing is fine, but can you tell us what that was like for you?
You know, I think it's one of the reasons why we waited so long to kind of start putting stuff together, you know, because it needed to make sense to us first, you know? I mean, even after we parted ways with Joey, you know, there was still some time where it was like, you know, what's next? What do we do? And it really kind of came down to, well, do we want to make music? And the answer was overwhelmingly yes. You know, so, you know, when we moved into the studio, missing those two key proponents, you know, it really kind of came down to, all right, it's not going to be the same, and we can't try to treat it like it's going to be the same. We need to naturally move forward and just see what happens. And once we did that, the music came very quickly. Jim wrote a lot of stuff coming into this, man. He had a lot of great riffs, a lot of great music, and we were all just kind of like, whoa, you know? Like, I had started to write some stuff. Clown had some stuff that he brought in. So we just kind of started to fashion this album together, you know, and really kind of, we went with the stuff that we were feeling. We went with the stuff that felt the most exciting to us, and we went with the stuff that we felt was the most honest. And I think because we did that, because we led with our heart, and we didn't try to kind of recapture the past, we just kind of tried to charge into the future with what we know best. I think that took a lot of the pressure off of us, you know. You're still going to have pressure no matter what, but it allowed us to enjoy the experience again, you know, without worrying about, you know, whether or not we were, you know, treading on ground that we had already been to. We just kind of went with where our gut was telling us, and, it definitely made it an easier and more enjoyable experience.
I certainly didn't want to leave Joey out of the conversation, and didn't mean to there in terms of writing this album without him as well. But his departure from the band, been a lot of chatter and speculation since that time as to who will be stepping into his place. Are you sticking with the same narrative in terms of you're wanting to make this more about the music than who's actually playing on the record and things like that, and that this will come out eventually?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when the time is right, we'll introduce the new people who we're playing with. There's no replacing those people.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, all you can kind of do is just move forward. So, I mean, I can say that we got two great dudes that we're jamming with, and it feels really good right now. It was difficult. I mean, it was a hard decision. Every band finds themselves on a path, and invariably that path is going to reach a T-section. You can only go one way or another. You can't go forward anymore. You've got to turn left or you got to turn right. And for the most part, we had all been able to kind of make the same turns together. And we just got to a point where, Joey was going one way and we were going another. Mm-hmm. And as difficult as that decision was, we felt it was best for the band. We felt it was best for Joey and for us to just make that move to, as it happened. So, it still hurts and it's still a bum out, but we had to do what was best for us. And obviously, out of respect for Joey, I'm not going to get into the details of it because it's nobody's business. But for us, it was just, it was the only thing that we could do at the time. And, it is what it is.
We've gotten our hands on 2 songs thus far. You mentioned the negative one just a bit ago. As of today, The Devil in I became available for all of us. What goals did you personally have in mind going into this album in regards to where your head's been at since All Hope Is Gone was put out?
There was a lot that I wanted to say, but I also knew there was a lot that the band wanted to say, And, while we were making the album, it was the first time that we had all been able to sit down and really share where we were at, like as far as where we were at emotionally, dealing with, the loss of Paul, where we were at as far as, that decision to move on without Joey. And, it was good for us to be able to kind of have those discussions, because when you're on the road, your head is so in gig mode, you're on, you're there to put on a show, and you kind of tuck that stuff down, and there's not a lot of opportunities to have those kind of conversations. And I was really happy that those conversations happened naturally when we were in the studio, because it was, it was the tale. It was a story of the last 4 years, and I wanted to make sure that not only was I saying something that I felt needed to be said, but that everybody in the band had a piece of that, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not that they, gave me lyrics or anything. I mean, obviously, people, respond to the stuff that I write. But I wanted to make sure that it was a representation of where we were at, and that, we were heading into, this is essentially uncharted territory. But I wanted to make sure that it was something that it was almost like a blanket that we could all get under. It was a message that we could all get behind. So for me, it was about, really trying to take, not just from a selfish standpoint, but from a unity standpoint, and make sure that we were all united and really felt good about where the lyrics were heading.
I imagine the guys are pretty excited to get out and awaken this sleeping giant again.
Yeah. I mean, we're all, we just shot the video for The Devil and I a few days ago, and a lot of these kids, it was the first time they were hearing it, and to see them watching us play this song, and really to kind of go for it the way we always do. It was such it really, not only did it pump them up, but it pumped us up. We were just like, yeah, here we go, and I've been going to the gym for the last 8 months just to get my body ready for this tour, because I want to come out and I want to be so explosive. I want to, I'm never going to be 25 again, but God, I'm going to be the most in shape 40-year-old you've ever seen in your life, So I'm really trying to get my my stamina back up, my strength back up, because I want these shows to just be explosive the way they always have been. You know, we're just, you know, we're getting ready for it. We're all really stoked.
Hey, man, there's no statute of limitations on looking good in your elder age. 40's nothing. Wait till your Billy Idol's age, you know?
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, you gotta, you know, when you love what you do the way we love it, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in shape or not. You know, your mind is gonna make you go. Your will is gonna push you forward. But the more your body can be in line with that, the longer you'll be able to do it. So, you know, I'm starting to kind of nudge the guys in that direction as well. It's like, hey, man, yeah, anytime you guys want to come work out with me, I'll put you through the ringer if you want. You know, because I'm starting to get really, really packed for it.
We're extremely excited to get our hands on Slipknot's 5th studio album, The Gray Chapter. Release date is October 21st. Corey, love you like a brother. Always have, man.
Absolutely, man. You know, when I come home, I'll look you up and we'll do some dinner or something.
Absolutely. Goes without saying, I wish you the absolute best in all you do, and please pass along my well wishes to all the guys, too.
I appreciate that, and I absolutely will, brother.